Hi, welcome to clickmyproject.com. Now I'm going to explain a complete demo of my project. And title is Interactive Constrained Server Provisioning in Large-Scale Distributed Environments. In this project, I'm going to reduce the number of distributed servers in virtual environment. In existing systems, there is no any constraint to interact with the people in virtual environment, so thereby the server efficiency, server cost and communication and power will be dramatically increased. So in our proposed systems, we can constrain the interactivity in DVE, that means distributed virtual environment, so we can achieve the server efficiency. This is the complete flow of my project. Before we are identifying the or constraining the client, we need to identify the individual server. After identifying the individual servers, make these individual server in virtual environment or create a virtual environment, and then provisioning the client. After the client has been provisioning the servers, we need to map the zone. The zone mapping can be based on the some constraints. After the zone mapping can be constructed, we can identify the dependency. So dependencies in the sense we can identify the client, those are all the depends on the separate zones. After identifying the zone dependency, we can forward or receive the data. Based on the zone dependency only in virtual environment we can send or receive any data. Now I am going to demonstrate the complete code of my project. For this, first I need to run a home file. In this frame I am going to register the users, those who are all entered in a virtual environment. First I am giving an IP address for each individual user for identifying the individuality, and generate a code ID and generate a MAC address and give a client name, and then address, city, state, and then click register. Now these registered clients will be added to the virtual environment. Likewise, we can add some of clients to add it. Generate a code ID, generate a MAC address and a client name, and the address, city and state, and click register. Now be added to the virtual environment. Then select third IP address, generate a code ID and generate a MAC address and enter the client name, and then address and city and state, and register. The registered client will be added to the virtual environment. Likewise, I can add another end user. That is client name. Then click register. After entering the some users to the virtual environment, we need to identify the zone dependencies of the users in virtual environment. For identifying the zone dependency, we need to click identify zone mapping. Now the zone mapping is waiting, and then you need to run a main zone. And this is the zone dependencies page. In this we need to first click details. Now click the requested details. These are the requested IP and requested code. After getting the requested details, we need to partitioning the requested IP. That means zone mapping. We can split the IPs into the based on some zones. For splitting, we need to click partitioning. So now there are the three zones. That means zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. These 3 zones are available in our virtual environment. After, based on this available zone, our requested users can be partitioning. Now, based on this zone mapping, we can partitioning the requested users. Here, the zone mapping, the zone dependencies values can be received. Then identifying the dependency. Now the first 2 IPs are in zone 1 environment, and second, third and fourth will be a zone 2 environment, and the final one is a zone 3 environment. After identifying the zone dependency, we need to identify the server dependencies. For we need to click server and click the server dependencies. After clicking the identifying the server dependencies, we need to come and run server. Like a zone dependencies, we need to click a requested details. These are the requested IPs for server partitioning, and then partitioning the requested IP to these are the available servers and DVE environment. Based on the server limit, we can partitioning the requested IP. Now the requested IP will be partitioned. That will be sent to the registration page. Here the server dependency is received. Now view the dependency servers. After identifying the server dependencies, we need to send a contact request to the servers. Now I select the requested user IP and that code, the corresponding zones and corresponding requested sites, and the contact server requestations will be sent to the server. Likewise we can send the request to all the IPs in virtual environment. After sending the contact server requisitions to the server, we need to go to the server and receive the requisition form. In this frame, we are going to receive the contact server requisitions. Then member details. Now the contact server response is received. These are the clients. Server 1 can maintain these clients. And then click to likewise the server 1, we need to click in the server 2. Now the server 2 can receive the member details. Next, server 3. Likewise, server 1 and server 2. Server 3 can also receive the member details. These are the members depends on the selected servers. After identifying the servers, the clients need to provisioning the servers. Now the clients can just know where we depends. For provisioning the server, we need to click provisioning. In this frame, every client in the distributed virtual environments can provisioning the server. First, I am selecting the IP and selecting the zone mapping and server dependencies, and then give some amount. So based on this amount, the resource will be allocated for the requested client, and send the provisioning details to the client. So likewise, we can provisioning the resource for each client in a environment. After provisioning the details, and provisioning can be sent to the clients, we need to receive the provisioning details. Now go to the server 1 and know these two IPs are the member of the servers. So based on the servers, we can identify these dependency zone and provisioning lists. So likewise, we can go in each server. These two are the clients. After identifying the zone dependencies and server dependencies and provisioning the servers, the client in the virtual environment can send or receive any data. So if I am selecting the anyone IPs among the server 1, if I am selecting 29 and click the client form. So now the client 2 form will be received. Now if you click the details, these are the details about the client 2, and if you want to data forward or receive, so based on this we can choose these options. Now I am going to forward the data. So these are the client IP and the zone dependencies and the server dependencies. Now I am going to select the targeted IPs. Now I am select the targeted IP is 39. So this targeted IP server is server 2. Now I am going to select the file to be sent to the client IP. Selecting the file, it need to click browse. Here I am selecting the one file, and the selected file will be sent to the another client in the virtual environment. After selecting the file, I am going to click send. Now the selected client will be in another zone dependencies. So now the selected client will be have allocated resources 100 MB. So we are allowed to transfer the file because we have to select only the 1 GB of file, 1 KB of file. So now file has been transferred to the contact server 2. So because the server is in the another dependencies, if any client can send the data to the another server in the client, in the sense we need to send the server to the contact server. Now we can go to the contact server. So now the contact server is now the target server is server 2 and the targeted IP is 39. So at first, before sending this, we need to receive the data sending by the client. Now the contact servers can be received the file and it will be forwarded to the targeted server, that means the server 2. So target servers. So then we need to go to the contact server 2. And click the server, and the target server is also the server 2, and receive the file and select the IPs and send. Now the target servers are transfer the files to the client 3. So now go and run client 3. Just click details. This is the details about the selected client, and here we need to receive the data, so we can choose the receive and click receive. Now the file can be received. Thank you for watching this video.